Drink Cinema! Cheers.
Welcome to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. We are 2 out of 3 brothers talking about bands in film. Hello, Brett.
Hello, Lee.
How are you?
I'm good, Lee. How are you?
Any songs to start with?
Look, I've had a Wicked soundtrack in my head for about 8 days. No.
Okay. That was from a movie that has a band in it. There's just a little bit of icing.
So was that, but I just made it up in my head.
Yeah, and it was different. Let's have a drink.
Cool.
This is a margarita. Just because something different.
Margarita in a can, watermelon flavoured.
Because I've had enough of lemon. I haven't actually. I drank a lot of hard solos last weekend. It is Altos with premium tequila, but it is made with natural flavours.
That's good.
And has watermelon. Premium tequila with natural watermelon flavour. Olmeca Altos sparkling watermelon margarita combines premium tequila with the finest natural ingredients, expertly mixed to provide an authentic taste that is best shared with friends.
Right. I won't look at the use by date. That's fine.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm going to put it in our 2 Drink Cinema stubby holder. Let's see what we got.
Ooh.
Ooh,
tequila. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is not subtle.
It's premium.
I was out on the weekend and my friend of mine, Steph, shout out Steph if you're listening.
Well, this margarita, it says, is best served with friends, so I can understand why you thought of Steph.
We were out and we got a cocktail. And she got a margarita on the rocks, and the person who served us didn't really explain what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's like, oh, what is on the rocks? I don't know what I'm expecting. And I said, I'm pretty sure they're just putting a margarita in a glass with ice.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
It was probably one out of a can. This is drinkable, though.
Bloody hope not.
If you like tequila, you'll like this one.
You know who like tequila?
Who?
Rock stars who go in movies.
Probably.
So we're doing top 5 movies in which it stars a band.
Yeah, and the suggestions from around the socials have been varied.
They have been varied.
And
there was nobody I saw mention one movie that's definitely on my list.
Well, no one actually mentioned the movie that brought this topic up.
Well, that's fair enough because when you put best and can't stop the music, they generally don't go in the same sentence.
Don't go in the same sentence because we did earlier this month review Can't Stop the Music, which starred, quote unquote, The Village People. And so that has brought us to talking about movies that star bands. Out of the nominations and of my research, I have 2 broad categories.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
And I want to know if you agree.
Okay, great.
One is established bands that are starring in the movie.
Yes, that is one.
Or make a movie.
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
The other one is movies that are about fictional bands.
Yes, that's
Not
what
that
I'm thinking.
have fictional bands in them.
Yep.
But the story of the movie is about the band.
Yes.
And similarly, in the established bands category, the movie is about the band. Not like an established band is in the background, like plays a gig.
Like the B-52s in Viva Rock Vegas.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they in the first one? I think they were in the first
Or
one.
there's like an episode of Buffy that like a real band is in.
Is it the musical episode of Buffy?
No. It's one of the good ones.
Oh, like is it Eurotrip where Scotty doesn't know?
Yeah, that's Matt Damon.
Yeah.
But that's not like an established band.
Okay.
Like Blink-182 have a cameo in American Pie.
Yep.
But they don't sing.
Okay.
But you get the idea.
Like in Star Wars, the Cantina Band.
The Cantina Band, yes. From those string of hits that they had legitimately, and then George Lucas hired them
play that same song.
to be in the Cantina scene. So two categories.
Yeah.
Most of the nominations we have received from people on the socials, at 2 out of 3 brothers, fall into the second category.
Yeah.
They're real nominations. They're just fictional bands.
Oh, they're just fictional bands. Yeah.
One of which, Clue.
Yes.
Yours, not so much.
Mine, no. It's the only one I could find with a musician on it.
So, which are we going to talk about first?
Well, do we want to talk about how we're here today?
Okay.
And the bands of themselves starring in the movies.
Yeah, okay. So, starting with Can't Stop the Music,
So starting with Can't Stop the Music, look, we talked about
which
it
from
last
our
week.
research is one of very few, but probably is not quite an honourable mention even.
No, look, it's up there in terms of iconicness, but it's iconically bad.
Yep. The first one that came to mind for both of us
Mm-hmm.
was Spice World.
Well, it was, yes.
Yes. And then the Beatles movies.
Yeah.
Yellow Submarine, Hard Day's Night, and Help.
Help. Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh, yeah, Magical Mystery Tour. I've been on that tour.
Yellow Submarine, did you say?
Yes.
Yes, good.
So that's the top 5 done.
Yep.
Spice World, followed
Spice
by the
World,
4 Beatles movies.
4 Beatles. Done. No. Look, speaking of the Beatles, I don't know, because I was also doing some research.
Mm.
And I'm like, were they the first ones to kind of do it?
Yeah.
I think because then they were like, oh shit, we're famous. We should do a movie as well to make even more money.
We can make a bit of cashola.
So their first one was A Hard Day's Night.
Yep.
And it's them kind of fictionalized versions of themselves.
Yes.
And it's all leading up to a big television performance.
Oh, sounds familiar.
And
Jacques
it's
Morali,
like,
what are you doing?
I know, right? And then it's like, oh no, we're so famous. Hordes of fans are everywhere.
Oh, accurate.
Yeah. So that was that. So I think it actually got pretty good.
I've seen it. It's not terrible.
Well, it got nominated for 2 Oscars.
Yeah, they're not bad actors, the boys.
No.
It does help that they're playing fictionalized versions of themselves, and they're not as fictionalized as the Village People.
Okay.
Like, Village People are essentially playing versions of themselves, but they're trying to play straight versions of themselves, which makes it a little bit harder.
Very fictional. Yeah, so it was nominated for 2 Oscars, Best Screenplay and Best Score Adaptation.
Oh, yes,
Whatever
of
that
course.
means, that's not a category anymore.
No. So then Yellow Submarine is one as well that they've done as well.
Yep.
It is animated.
We saw that at the movies.
We did see
Do
that at
remember
the
seeing
Astor Theatre
Mm.
very many years ago.
Yeah.
And it features kind of the animation style of the Sgt. Pepper's stuff.
Yeah.
It's a bit later. Help is probably before this.
It was.
But Yellow Submarine comes to my mind before Help.
Yeah.
It is very late 60s.
Yeah, and it's
Trippy.
more a jukebox musical of them fitting in Beatles songs into a story. Like they go to an octopus's garden, probably. I don't know. You know
And
what
they
I mean?
do
They
go
are
on
in a yellow
They
submarine.
do go on to a Yellow Submarine, and there is a guy named Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah.
It is iconic. It is fun. Like, I don't think they're like, this is going to be a really great story,
No.
but it's fun. The budget was £250,000,
Mm.
and the box office was $1.2 million.
It's not bad.
I don't know. I'm not going to do the maths.
It's better than Joker, Dolly a Foo.
That's true.
Um,
But this also wasn't voiced by them.
oh.
Yeah. So John Clive voiced John Lennon. Jeffrey Hughes voiced Paul McCartney. Peter Batten voiced George Harrison, uncredited.
Okay. Sorry, George.
Yeah. And Paul Angelis voiced a few other characters, including Ringo Starr. So they had the idea and they kind of developed it, but then I think they just kind of like sold their soul potentially
Yeah.
and their songs. So maybe that doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't know, because they're not in it.
Well, yeah, they're just in the little live action scene at the end.
But they are in Help.
They are in
And-
Help, which was in 1965,
Yeah.
3 years before
I
Yellow
haven't
Submarine.
seen it.
I don't
But
think I've seen it either.
The plot, I want to see it.
Okay.
It sees the group struggle to protect Ringo from a sinister Eastern cult and a pair of mad scientists who are all obsessed with obtaining a sacrificial ring that was sent to him by a fan.
Eastern cult is interesting.
That was a direct quote from Wikipedia. I did not write Eastern
Probably
cult.
a direct quote from the 60s. Considering how long after this they then went to India, Eastern cult is very interesting.
Well,
Unless it means the east of England.
Yeah. No, I don't think it does.
Okay.
They also went with Help, but they had some ideas after that, or before that, of a working title of the movie. One was called Beatles 2.
Okay, not as good.
Beatles Phase 2.
Nope.
Or Ringo suggested 8 Arms to Hold You.
Is that a... I don't know. I guess there are 4 of them.
Oh, that's not where I was going.
Were you going into the Eastern cult thing?
Yeah, I was going some sort of deity with multiple arms.
Yeah, I get that.
Or an octopus.
Okay, I've just done a little bit more research on 8 Arms to Hold You. That then became a little subtitle for the Ticket to Ride song. Probably to placate Ringo because he didn't get the title of the movie.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so we've got Help, Hard Day's Night, and Yellow Submarine.
They also did Magical Mystery Tour in between Help and Yellow Submarine, but it was just a TV film that was mostly unscripted. And the plot of that is a group of people on a coach tour experience strange happenings caused by magicians.
I think I have seen that one. The poster for that one, I'm just looking at it now, is weird.
Yeah.
It's giving Donnie Darko, the 4 of them on that poster.
Yeah.
Yeah, produced and directed by the Beatles, which is probably why it wasn't their strongest story.
The other one they did was Let It Be, but that's more of like just a documentary about them rehearsing and recording for the album.
Yeah.
And then that's what features the iconic rooftop
scene that then Peter Jackson has now redone a big thing of.
Yep.
I'm not counting docos.
Okay.
All right.
You know what isn't a documentary? Lee, we have to talk about Spice World.
We do have to talk about Spice World. It's the arguably, big argument, the greatest
it is.
Movie starring a band of all time.
Depending on when you were born.
This is true. So, Spice World is one we've reviewed. It's the only one that we've done a talk along to. So if you scroll back far enough through your podcast feed and want to watch Spice World, you can watch it as if Brett is yelling at the TV with you rather than with me.
And if you listen, you might understand why we didn't do that again.
So 1997, they really just went, we are big right now.
Yeah.
Let's do something that is going to make us more money.
And then a huge cast of supporting people and cameos wanted to get involved.
Because they were huge, 1996. Even Wikipedia says the film is in a similar vein to Beatles' Hard Day's Night.
Yeah, it's, we have to go and get ready for our concert.
We have to do a gig, and then, my friend's having a baby.
Yeah. So
there is some random stuff.
There is random stuff. And first, it got started, Disney approached the Spice Girls.
Oh, really?
And like, hey, you're popular and we love money. We should do a movie.
Yeah, you should love money as well. Let's make a movie.
Yeah. But then they turned it down because of the Disney-fied script. It was just a bit too...
bit too nice.
And what the internet said was the overall premise was a young single mother of one of the girls fighting hardship to form the band.
Oh, so I'm a poor mum.
Like you're Emma Bumpton's single mum, I think.
Yeah, you and your friends go out and sing to make me some money.
I think so.
No. That doesn't even sound like there'd be a bus in it.
Yeah. So then Kim Fuller, who is the sister of Simon Fuller, who was their manager.
Oh, okay.
Went, I think I might just give it a go. And so then she wrote the script.
Why
And
not?
it changed many times because of all the people that wanted to be in it.
Well, and you know what? It doesn't shy away from the fact that it's just a bit of fun.
It's not trying to be a serious movie.
It's not trying to be a serious movie.
Posh Spice doing an army workout in heels is not meant to be taken seriously.
But also like when you go inside the bus and there's like the hammock and they've each got their little section of the bus and it's much bigger inside than it should be.
Yeah.
But the guest cast or the cast outside of Victoria, Emma, Mel C, Jerry and Mel B, Richard E. Grant,
Yes.
Saltburn,
Yep.
Alan Cumming,
Yep. The Traders.
Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion,
Yep.
George Wendt, Cheers. I'm running out now. Claire Rushbrook,
Don't know.
Things, Mark McKinney, Things,
Dunno.
Roger Moore, James Bond.
James Bond.
A fairly good cast.
Yep.
Isn't
They were also going to have bits in there about Princess Diana and a thing with Gianni Versace, but they cut it out because they died.
Oh, they did die.
Around the same
Meatloaf's in
time.
it too. Barry Humphries, Richard O'Brien.
Richard O'Brien's the not Rupert Murdoch.
No, Barry Humphries is the not Richard Murdoch.
Oh.
The not Rupert Murdoch is Barry Humphries.
Oh, Richard O'Brien's just a creepy...
Richard O'Brien is
Photographer.
Damien. He's the photographer.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Great.
And then a whole lot of others. If you just scroll down, you know a lot of the people.
Yep.
Elvis Costello, Elton John, Bob Geldof, Bob Hoskins, Jennifer Saunders, Hugh Laurie, Stephen Fry, all as themselves.
Well, actually, it was Jennifer Saunders that convinced Bob Spears to direct it. Because when he got approached to do it, he didn't know who they were.
Oh.
So it's like Jennifer Saunders lifted up the rock that he was living under and said, you should probably do this movie. We can take a break from Ab Fab if you like.
Oh, he also directed Fawlty Towers and Press Gang. Remember that show that Safi was in?
Nah.
She is like the editor of like a high school paper or something. You'll remember it if you see it.
Nah.
Anyway, that's Robert Alexander Spears.
So that's all I could think of for movies where the bands are playing themselves in a movie.
So then we've done some research. And we found... Actually, there's one I'll save till last, the one we found that's legit.
Okay.
But I wanted to bring up Purple Rain.
Okay.
Because Prince plays a musician.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what the Beatles and the Spice Girls are doing. And Village People are attempting to do. But kind of fictionalized versions of themselves.
Yeah, but they're still called Victoria, Mel, Emma, and Ginger.
True.
Jerry. I forgot her
So
name.
is Purple Rain then just Prince being an actor?
Yeah, well then do we put 8 Mile in there? Also not a band.
Yeah, okay. I don't know about 8 Mile. I think... No, 8... Oh, right. Purple Rain and 8 Mile are in a in-betweeny category.
Because it's like,
Not
I'm going
quite
to
biopic.
star in a movie that's loosely based on my real life.
But play a different character.
Yeah.
So if in 8 Mile he played Marshall, we'd be counting that the same as Can't Stop the Music.
Yep.
And if Prince had
But
played
better.
Prince, we would be counting that the same as Spice World.
Yeah, if Prince played Prince or whatever he was calling himself at the time,
Prince, because it was the 80s.
then yes, we would have counted it. But I'm sorry, I'm going to have to veto them based on the criteria.
Okay, I'm going to nominate one more that
Okay.
I've not seen,
Great.
but
Don't like its chances then.
it came up in the searching. Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny.
Oh, okay.
From
I haven't
Wikipedia.
seen that either.
A 2006 American musical fantasy comedy film about comedy rock duo Tenacious D, written, produced, and starring Jack Black and Kyle Gass, cancelled. It was directed and co-written by musician and puppeteer Liam Lynch.
Oh.
Despite being about an actual band, the film is a fictitious story about the band's origins and their journey to find a magical pick belonging to Satan that allows its users to become rock legends.
And then we got Tribute.
Then I think they put Tribute into it,
Okay.
I think.
That fits.
But they're different names.
Okay.
So, Jack Black plays Jables, who they just call JB.
Okay.
And Kyle Gass plays Cage, who they just call KG.
Lee, the more you talk about this, the less I'm likely to put in the top 5.
Well, the less likely I am to watch it, to be honest. I think it's closer to the borderline than Prince and
8 Mile.
8 Mile.
You know what? Also, looking on the internet, if I was Jack Black, I'd be speaking to someone about the photo they've got on there. That's quite harsh, Google.
Oh, harsh of him or the poster of the movie?
No, harsh of him. Just the headshot. Terrible.
It's never good. Google's
Anyway.
terrible at it. Okay, then, if we're not doing fictional ones, then this one doesn't count either that we found on the internet that's a horror film.
Yeah, but they're playing the fictionalized version of the fuck.
Yeah,
Jesus.
which is what Eminem
So it's a top
and
2.
Prince and Tenacious D are doing. But the movie we've found is Studio 666, which stars and written by the Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters.
And
Yes.
it is about... It's 2022. This didn't even come onto my radar.
No, well, it sounds terrible. In 1993, in Encino, Sky Willow, drummer of the heavy metal band Dream Widow, is crawling along the floor with a broken leg. God.
Like Link from Hairspray, 1988, hopefully.
Yeah. 2019, the Foo Fighters, pressured by their manager to overcome writer's block and record a new album, they move into a mansion where Grohl becomes fascinated with the house and the source of inspiration. One of their tech helps, Krug, is electrocuted by a wire, and the band decides to dedicate their album to him. Wow.
So so the Foo Fighters are playing a fictional Foo Fighters. Same
Yes.
names.
Yeah,
Dave, Taylor, Rummy, Nate, Chris, and Pat.
because they're the Foo Fighters.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah.
That's an honourable mention because
Yeah.
we haven't seen it.
Okay.
It's got a decent cast.
Yeah.
Whitney Cummings, I've seen. Leslie Grossman, I know. Will Fort, I
Fort.
know. General
General
Ortega.
Ortega. Jeff
Obligatory.
Carlin.
Jeff Garlin.
He's someone.
Yeah. Okay.
Lionel Richie as himself.
Well, there you go. So that's in. That's acceptable.
I mean, that is acceptable.
But Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny is not.
No, if we were stretching to get one,
Well, instead, we're just choosing 3 Beatles.
instead we are opening to the movies about bands, but they're not real bands.
Okay. Straight off the top. Well, okay. Straight off the
This is
top
where the
is...
suggestions of the comments on the social medias.
This
came
is
in.
true. So, Spinal Tap. I'm wearing the T-shirt
Spinal Tap. I haven't
of the drawing of Stonehenge.
think I've seen it.
It's very good.
I've seen Turn It Up to 11,
Turn up to 11.
and I've seen them on The Simpsons.
And you will have heard my husband say lines from it a number of times.
I've heard them say, "Good night, Springton. There will be no encore."
So, it is directed by Christopher Guest.
Yes.
The king of the mockumentary movie.
I need to watch more of his stuff.
Everything he does is very good. Some is excellent, but the rest is also very good. So it is about a fictional band.
Yeah.
And I was going to type fictional band into Google instead of Spinal Tap.
Okay.
So Spinal Tap are... it's taken me to the page about the band, not the page about the movie.
Right. Okay.
So the movie is actually called This Is Spinal Tap.
It has.
So they've pretty much made a band its own thing and then made a mockumentary about it. And it written by Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, Harry Shearer, and Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner
Decent people.
directs it, but also then plays the director in the documentary
You're very good.
of the thing. And then the band is Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer as the main 3.
Yep.
They also wrote the songs, the 4 of them. Guest, McKean, Shearer, and Reiner. And they, legit sound like 80s metal songs, which is great.
Yeah. So it's kind of like what you like about it takes the piss out of that type of movie, but it's still very, very good version of that type of movie,
Yeah.
a la Dodgeball.
It's very, very good satire and mockumentary while being a good example of how you make a documentary.
Yeah.
So that if you just looked at it with no sense of humor, you'd think it was a great documentary.
Yeah.
But they've just put a whole lot of jokes in it about, like, the drummers always die. You can turn the amps up to 11.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
Stonehenge is drawn as 18 inches instead of 18 feet. So when
Yep.
it comes out on the stage, it's only that big.
Yeah.
Just put lots of stupid jokes in it. The plot: filmmaker Marty DeBurgi is filming a documentary about English rock band Spinal Tap's 1982 United States concert tour to promote their new album Smell the Glove. The band comprises childhood friends David St. Hubbins and Nigel Tufnell on vocals and guitar, bassist Derek Smalls, keyboardist Viv Savage, and drummer Mike Shrimpton. So it goes from like the start of, they started in like the 60s, 70s up until they're this rock tour, and then it follows all of the things that go wrong in the process of the tour and promoting the album. And it's just hilarious.
You know what I just realised?
Yeah.
Harry Shearer's in that.
Yeah.
And he's in The Simpsons.
Correct.
Yep.
So he would have voiced himself taking the piss out of one of his own voices.
Yeah, and what is it? They have a giant inflatable devil that then pops, and I think that
Slowly swallows Harry Shearer's character.
and then the drummer, and then crushes the drummer.
Yeah.
And they do it at the closed ice hockey rink, and so it's all like on a layer of water.
Oh yeah, and
think.
they're worried about electricity.
Yeah.
That is one of the things as
And
well.
Bart goes with Milhouse,
Okay.
and Homer stays in the car. Anyway, we don't have to go through the whole episode. So,
yes, Spinal Tap has been nominated by a couple of people as well as by myself.
if we are nominating movies that feature a fake band,
Yep.
we've reviewed the Blues Brothers.
Correct.
I think we're going to have to consider it.
It's very highly considered because, as well, the band that backs Jake and Elwood
Yep.
were pretty much the house band that played on most of the some of the biggest bands, some of the biggest soul and blues songs of all time. And yeah, they just kind of got in there, and as well as some legit people playing.
Well, you get James
themselves.
Brown, Ray Charles.
James Brown, Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin,
Yep. Cab
Calloway, and one more.
Orange Whip.
Oh, you know, one more.
Carrie Fisher.
Oh, Carrie Fisher. She's not a musician.
Her mum was.
Fran Drescher is in Spinal Tap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I meant to mention that while we were talking about.
I was like, Fran Drescher was not in Blues Brothers.
So yeah, the band in the Blues Brothers are, a lot of them were the house band for Stax Records.
Yep.
And Stax and Motown were soul in the 60s.
I think it's a great movie. It's one of the family faves.
It is a family fave, and it is about the band, getting the band back together because they're on a mission from God.
Yep.
And it does, like Can't Stop the Music, like Hard Day's Night, like Spice World, lead up to a gig.
Yes.
Where they have to play the gig and then get away at the end of it.
Frank Oz is in it.
Yeah, he is.
The other one I have to mention, Lee.
Oh, there's also Illinois Nazis in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not a band, though. So, the other movie that someone suggested on the socials was The Commitments.
And you have to mention it because it stars someone of your musical liking.
It has had a great impact on the history of music, Lee. It is credited with discovering what is a great band.
She's not mentioned in the starring section of
No, she's got a credit.
not on
Andrea
the
Kaur
Wikipedia.
as Sharon Rabbit.
No, but like in the starring bit of
No.
Wikipedia, she's not there.
In addition, comedian Sean Hughes plays Dave from Egypt Records, while Maura O'Malley played Joey's mother. Besides Andrea, the other three members of the Kaurs appear in the film, with Jim Kaur in a credited role and Sharon and Caroline Kaur in brief background roles.
There you go. So it gave us the Kaurs, but it's not about the Kaurs, unfortunately. No. It is about a young music fan in Dublin.
Yep.
Where we've been.
Have been there.
And he wants to start a band.
Mm-hmm.
And so he does it. And the band is great.
Yeah.
And they play those kind of soul standards, probably some that the band from the Blues Brothers originally recorded.
Yep.
And they just do really well.
You know, it did do well. At the 1992 British Academy Film Awards,
commonly known as the BAFTAs,
the film won 4 of 6 BAFTA awards for Best Film, Best Direction, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Editing. It also received an Academy Award nomination for Best Editing.
Oh,
actually done all right.
It's a great movie.
I haven't watched it for a very long time,
and it's a great sounding band. Andrew Strong as the lead singer is great. And I went to see him live a few years ago. The film, they had 2 soundtrack albums released from the film, and the first reached number 8 on the Billboard album chart, which is pretty good for a movie soundtrack.
Yep.
But the band is amazing. And Andrew Strong, you know how he got the gig?
He sang.
Well, they were auditioning people, right? And they found it really hard to find someone, but they had to start rehearsals with the band and rehearsals and get ready to film. So he just filled in. He was 16 years old. And they're just like, we'll just get this guy to fill in. And then by the time it kind of got to the pointy end, we're like, well, we need to find a fucking singer. They'd realized how good he was.
Yeah.
And everyone else in the band was like, this fucking kid can sing.
He's already doing the job.
And he's doing it very well, and doing it very well a number of years later. So, yes, The Commitments is in there.
The other one I'm just going to mention, we've reviewed it.
Yes.
It is technically about a band, and you've already mentioned the lead actor.
Okay.
School of Rock.
Oh, yeah. It is about the formation of a band.
And it all leads up to a concert.
And it all leads up to a gig. Trope.
Band trope.
Well, yeah, that's the Brady Bunch movie. Band.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's about
They're
a band.
already a family, though.
The Partridge Family?
They're not a band. They just do
They're
a
a
one-off
show.
thing.
Oh, because they have to raise $20,000 so they can afford the house.
That's the dance. People on YouTube enjoy my interpretation of
School of
the
Rock?
Brady Bunch.
Okay. Yeah. I'll accept School of Rock because it's about music. It's about forming a band, and it's got a gig at the end.
All right, so
If you don't know the story of School of Rock, Jack Black
plays Jack Black.
plays Jack Black as a failed musician who gets kicked out of yet another band, can't find a gig, pretends to be his mate as a relief teacher of a music class, and ends up putting a band together.
And Joan Cusack is there. Joan Cusack, sorry.
And working with children checks didn't exist.
No. Neither did reference checks.
Another one that I want to mention because my husband talks about it a lot. It is a movie called Eddie and the Cruisers from 1983.
Yep.
It is a musical drama film. Television news reporter Maggie Foley investigates the mysterious disappearance of cult rock star Eddie Wilson. Flashbacks dramatize Eddie's life and the rise and fall of his band, The Cruisers. But as she investigates more and more, she starts to get convinced that he's not dead.
Ooh.
That he might still be alive.
Okay.
That's all I know about the movie, but my husband says it's good.
Okay. Honourable mention. All right, so.
One more.
One more?
Yeah. Almost Famous.
Dreamgirls? Almost Famous. Fuck.
It's
I don't
not.
think of. It's a good
It's
movie.
not technically about the band,
He's writing
but it's about
an article about the band.
Yes, but
It's more about Kate Hudson.
In writing the article about the band, the movie is about the people on the periphery of the band. The writer, the Kate Hudsons, the families, the fans.
Yeah.
So the movie, I think, is about that. And Almost Famous is about the people that are famous adjacent.
But it's also about them because they're not the best. They're not the most famous band, but they want to get there.
True.
So they're almost famous. They're a bit underground.
It is a very good movie, though.
Yeah, it is very good. I like it.
Anything else?
No,
A couple of people nominated biopics.
don't count.
Grant nominated The Doors, Oliver Stone's
Sorry,
biopic starring
doesn't
Val
count.
Kilmer.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, but I have to acknowledge that Grant did nominate.
Okay, well, Grant, great. Apparently, it's a very good movie. I haven't seen it. It's on my list of things to watch with 4,000 other movies.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not eligible in this scenario.
He also did nominate Hard Day's Night. So
Okay.
we'll give him Hard Day's Night.
Grant. We'll grant him that.
We'll grant him Hard Day's Night, but we'll take away The Doors.
Okay.
Because then if we talk about biopics, we got to get into like
That's a whole other
Bohemian
subject.
Rhapsody. And then I found like this list on Rotten Tomatoes. And then like it's got What's Love Got to Do with It. It's got The Pianist.
Rocket Man, The Pianist,
Behind the Candelabra.
Shine, Behind the Candelabra, Coal Miner's Daughter, Judy,
Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton,
Walk the Line.
Dream Girl. Oh, no.
Like there's a lot. The sound-
Aretha, Whitney.
Oh, I was gonna say this list has The Sound of Music on it, and I was like, the Von Trapps are real.
Yeah, but they're a biopic.
No,
if
but
they were
like
actually the Von Trapps in there, well done.
I was questioning whether it fit the biopic, but it does fit the biopic.
Yes.
Get On Up. If you haven't seen Get On Up, where it's the James Brown biopic starring Chadwick Boseman, great, very very good.
Cool.
But also on this list is Amadeus, which is
Technically
a biopic of Mozart. If you want to go far enough
Who
back,
else was a musician?
technically not a band, but an
Elvis.
orchestra. Elvis, yep. Austin Butler,
Leonard Bernstein.
yes, and his nose. Well, not his nose, Bradley Cooper's nose.
Wicked.
Wicked, not real. Rock of
What?
Ages is about a band.
Okay. We could go on for hours about biopics. Maybe that'll be a future top 5 subject.
Top 5 biopics. Tough. Well, what?
A League of Their Own.
This is not a band, but similarly in the Spinal Tap Blues Brothers ilk
Yep.
is The Bodyguard.
Yep.
Because, guess what? Leads up to a concert,
It leads up to the Oscars.
which is a big performance. Trope,
Yeah.
but not a band. Sorry, Whitney.
Valet.
Okay, now we've got to rank some shit.
Okay,
we
so-
have Spinal Tap Commitments Blues Brothers, Spice World Hard Day's Night.
That's it.
Done. But not in that order.
I'm going to...
We're merging the categories.
Yes, we're
Okay.
merging the categories to make a top 5.
Eddie and the Cruisers, honourable mention. School of Rock, I'm going to give an honourable mention.
Okay. In my 5th place... Oh, Jesus. This is actually hard. Commitments.
Oh, and potentially controversial. So, all right. Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to put for the number 4 spot, enjoyment or quality?
Iconicness. So you're tossing up between Spice World.
And Hard Day's Night.
That's-
All right. So
Look, I am fine. No, I'm not actually fine.
now I think I'm going to put Hard Day's Night. Well, what about Yellow Submarine?
Nah, we can only put one of theirs. Well, what about
Or
Spinal Tap?
can you cheat like my top 5 and just have like when I have Back to the Future 1, 2, 3?
Yeah,
we just
yeah.
have the Beatles in
The
number 4.
Beatles.
Well, I am putting Spinal Tap higher, but you haven't seen it.
Yeah, but is it better than the Hard Day's Night?
Yes,
Okay.
and even Shane will say that.
Okay.
He's the mad Beatles fan.
I'm happy to put Hard Day's Night at number 4. I
Agreed.
feel like we're not going to get a lot of love for that, especially when we put certain movies above that.
So, are we putting Blues Brothers number 1? Because there's Spice World, Spinal Tap, and Blues Brothers left for me. Can't Stop the Music cannot get a mention. Cannot be ranked.
We've talked about it enough. Okay, I'm somewhere torn between putting Spice World at number 1 and putting Spice World at number 4.
Yeah. Hard Day's Night is arguably a better movie. You did say it won a couple of awards.
But the Spice World is Spice World.
Yeah.
That's the only argument I've got.
Hard Day's Night's pretty iconic too.
Okay, so let's scrap. Let's put Spice World at number 4.
Okay.
Commitments, Spice World.
All right. So then Hard Day's Night goes at number 3.
Yep.
And then Spinal Tap number 2, which you're happy to trust me
Yes.
on. And then Blues Brothers at number 1. Okay. Yeah. I can get around that.
If it was their band had to be in it, then it's Hard Day's Night, Spice World, Help, Yellow Submarine.
Yeah. Okay. So
Sorry, Foo Fighters.
we're giving honourable mentions to Yellow Submarine and Help.
Yep.
And School of Rock, Almost Famous, and Eddie and the Cruisers.
A lot of honourable mention.
Tenacious D,
Nah.
Purple Rain, stretched a little bit.
Nah.
And Studio 666, haven't seen it, might not be great. So our top 5 movies with bands in them, fictional or otherwise.
Yep.
The Blues Brothers,
Number 1.
Spinal Tap,
Number 2.
Hard Day's Night,
Number 3.
Spice World,
Number 4.
The Commitments.
Number 5.
Sorry to The Commitments.
It's a pretty tough list, Commitments. Sorry. If you were a movie about the cause, if you were a fictionalized movie about the cause, number 1 with a bullet.
What about The Commitments then toured after it as a band?
Well, then they became a real band. So anyway, we can't. That's it. We can't keep talking.
Yeah, we're also out of time. People have had enough of us talking about it. If you think there's something that we've missed,
There probably is.
then get on to us at the socials at 2 out of 3 Brothers. Also on
What
the
about
socials.
Cheetah Girls.
Well, something else that came out was like Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, fudge.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't have time. If you think we've missed something, let us know in the Two Drink Cinema Facebook group or on the socials at 2 out of 3 Brothers. While you're there, book your tickets for the happiest season at Pride of Our Footscray,
Yes.
which will be a great toxic lesbian rom-com.
Yay.
Yay, that's what we all want to celebrate for
There's
Christmas.
not enough of them.
But because you don't have anything else on during December, you may as well come to Pride and listen to us talk about it and have a drink with us for Christmas. That's our top 5. And yeah, next month we are happiest season for Rainbow Popcorn Christmas and Gremlins for To Drink Cinema Christmas. Thank you, Brett.
Thanks, Lee. Cheers. Thanks for listening to Two Drink Cinema. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast was produced and pay our respects to elders past and present.
If you'd like to support the podcast, either leave the tip or become a member for early access to these episodes by using the link in the show notes.
Join the Facebook group for more chat about the movies we review and make sure you follow us on the socials to keep up to date.
Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review on your podcast app.
Happy viewing and drink responsibly.